Hello everyone and welcome back to our continuing adventures on the Let's Defend platform. Today we are tackling one of the newer released challenges, the easy and free underneath the security analyst path PowerShell Keylogger. And so we're given a typical Windows lab environment. You're a malware analyst investigating a suspected PowerShell malware sample. The malware is designed to establish a connection with a remote server, execute various commands, and potentially exfil data. Your goal is to analyze the malware's functionality and determine its capabilities. In the typical fashion, you get the tools and the challenge file folder on the desktop. And if I can find... there we go. Bring that up, move that over, bing, bing, boom. Back to this. So your typical aspect, or what seems to be the typical, sample.zip inside of the challenge file folder, extract out, you get a cha. If we take that cha and we get an MD5, has someone actually taken this and dumped it into VirusTotal already? So if this thing was actually malware, which it more than likely is there a decent possibility that your AV engine of choice would have actually found it and alerted on it? But that CHA file can be opened up inside of like Visual Studio. That could be opened up inside of Notepad, Notepad++. I guess the VM comes with Notepad++, and that's what I got the more experience with, just running with that. Let's see, it was 1 month ago. Let's reanalyze. Bring that back. And so obviously from the name, gave it all away. It's a PowerShell script. And starting right off the bat, we have server address, server port, proxy address, proxy port. So it looks like it's the server address is a .onion address, which typically needs a Tor browser to interact with. Server port 9999, proxy address 37.143.129.165, proxy port 9050. Well, I guess that is a pretty good bet that what you might have might actually alert on this. So that's updated. So, big name. Bitdefender doesn't like it. ESET doesn't like it. Spy.keylogger.e. Microsoft actually flags it. Wow. Okay. So that's a little bit more detail. Don't need to do much of anything else with it, so... one moment as I bring up my local copy so we can have a little bit easier time taking a look at everything. Okay, so we transition this over. And with this, as the dog gets tangled up in the long USB cable, inside of Notepad++, if you go to language, you see a drop-down menu, which of course is not being captured, of course. But underneath P, you can then go over and left-click on where it would say PowerShell, and it will add a little bit more. So general text and PowerShell aware syntax coding, or coloring. But so that's the same exact aspect where it starts with. So at least we can sit there and utilize this as we go through and try to plop out the answers. With that being done, I'm going to terminate the VM because we got a good copy and we don't need to run up the hosting bill for Let's Defend. So the first question we end up with out of all this is what is the proxy port used by the script? And that should be 9050 if we read it properly and they're not screwing with us. And that is indeed the case. Actually, let me see if I can't just move that down a little bit. Maybe actually have some of the windows still be visible. Maybe. Maybe. There. So we can kind of sort of have everything together. What function method is used for starting keylogging? And so we're going to see as to whether or not if anything in here starts talking about keylogging. Capture SC, probably be capture screen. Encode data, decode data, get system info. Sure. How about global keylogger active? Or wait, no. The question is which function method? Is it since it's function? Start dash keylogger? Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna knock it. Let's see. What is the name of the file used by the script to store the keylog data? So where are we dumping the keylog data? Oh, system.file.io. So basically to dump the stuff out. So it looks like keylog.txt. Yes. What command is used by the script to achieve persistence? System execute command in memory. Where it captures everything. System info, screenshot, PowerShell shell, upload, download. Persist. Oh, where did I see it? Yeah, right in here. Line 245 to line 247. So basically, command persist and basically tells or reports out that the persistence mechanism is managed separately. but the command is basically spelled out there. To upload data. Was that not just upload colon? That's, yeah, that's a bad set of phrasing right there. Yeah, upload. But obviously, just like with persist, it's upload with the colon as it's denoted there. Okay, so what is the regex script? To filter IP addresses. We were just floating around there. So it wants not, or does not want to match an IP address starting with 127 dot or 169.254. But we're basically grabbing the section that is within the double quote. Okay, what is the DLL imported? Sit there and do APIs. Socket testing, that was probably right where I was at, since we're doing imports. I don't know. As I'm sitting there looking at all those DLL imports, it looks like we've really only got one choice in this. User32.dll. It took me a second to realize it's like, wait, all four of these sections of DLL import all reference the same. It doesn't really look like there's any sort of follow-on import. Okay. Oh, wow, all the way down to the last question. And of course, I can't bring it all the way up. So, how many seconds does the script wait before reestablishing a connection? And it's effectively all the way down. While true, try establish dash connection. Where basically it lays out the IP port, even though I think the IP for server address was actually the .onion address. But all the way down here, line 276, start sleep dash seconds 60. So in other words, if there's a fatal error, wait 60 seconds. Let's see if we're actually right with this. Yes, we are. And we get a nice little badge. One more for the road. Okay, so we've got the IP, or the hash. I don't suppose this actually pulls out and tells us the No, it doesn't seem like it. The rest of the information. So if we go and open up another one, because realistically, we get all this stuff getting kicked out, everything else. But at the very top of everything was the proxy address that was given. What I'm going to try to do is just basically spam this out. So yeah, IP address 6 out of 94, Brainstorm Network Incorporated. In Finland? I am not familiar with them. Oh, it's big internet. So, very, very big, deep internet. Wow. There we go. So can you do anything with this .onion address? Oh, it's marked suspicious. It's something, so we'll stick with that. Oh wow, 12 minutes ago. Let's see. I don't suppose this is somewhere within that time frame. Maybe. So did I trigger the rescan of it, or don't know. Do not know. 15 minutes? Maybe. Maybe. Maybe I just missed that in the relationship tab. But so there we go. There's looks like this was at least bits and pieces taken for something real. Not a bad way to go about it to sit there and try to force yourself for more exposure to actual PowerShell code that you need to look at, analyze, and then determine exactly what's going on. So that has been the easy and free PowerShell Keylogger challenge. I'll grab the virus total links, dump them in the video description as always. And with all that being said, I will see everybody in the next video.